Hey guys, welcome to our podcast where it has to be said. My name is Elvis.
And I'm Denise.
Babe, let's talk. What happened?
Bring it down.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Bring
came
it
too
down.
hype.
Too hype.
We drank coffee too late.
It didn't do anything to me. I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah? No. Yeah, me too.
So, hey guys, here we are. It's been a few weeks.
Let's cut to
No, anyways.
yes, the
Let's
info,
talk to
the
our
data.
audience. Let's update life.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you,
Otra
sir.
cosa.
So, we're back.
Mm-hmm.
We don't leave. It's just stuff happens, you know?
Yeah. Denise is showing her nails. That's why she's moving a lot.
No. I feel like there was something that happened back to back. I know I preached one Sunday. That was one reason why. And then the week before, I don't know what happened. But
I feel like every time we sit down here,
I'm
we
giving
have a reason for stuff. That's why I'm like, let's just talk.
No, life be lifing. We have to let them know that things happen. But with that said,
I have projects in the backyard, which I still do. I literally just finished a few minutes ago. Right?
Yeah. But with that
And
said,
it's late. Mhm.
we are going to most likely be pushing our episodes to bi-weekly.
Yes.
Because we just have a lot going on.
We always have a lot going on, yeah.
Yeah, and
And we enjoy this. It's not like we don't. I think that's why we're like, oh, we got to make it work. Or at least you do most of the time.
what are you trying to say with that?
No, nothing. I said what I had to say, but
Because I was about to be like, we can end this.
No. So I feel like every other week would be ideal, especially now when weather's better, because I'm always doing stuff, folks. I'm always right now I have projects in the backyard plus work, church related stuff as well, which is always a good thing.
Get church stuff.
Thank you. I coordinate Sunday, and you translate Sunday. So yeah, we're gonna be involved. But I am working in the backyard, and I
Yeah.
literally just finished working in the backyard. And just we're always doing stuff, right? I'm still working out, right, babe? We're working out.
Yes, I started working out, guys. I got
It's like you woke up, yeah.
Me fui,
Hey
me fui.
guys, I'm back.
Me fui un viaje. I got the Peloton.
Mm-hmm.
I'm renting it out for now to start to see how often I use it.
Unless we get any sponsor that want to sponsor the bike, there you go.
We haven't posted, but
Yeah, just message below. It doesn't matter. Hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you feel that you want to hit us up. Just let us know.
So I'm renting it out. I got it on Tuesday and I already did 2 classes. So it's good. I think that it's necessary. I've been very reluctant I've been complaining since last year about my weight, about wanting to be active. I think more than my weight is just being active on a regular day-to-day basis.
Well, besides the bike, you were also walking a few days as well.
Yeah, but I just wanted to be more active. And the reality is that I don't have the flexibility to go to a gym unless I wake up super early, right? Like I would have to go really early, or unless I go really late, because then I have clients in the evening. So it's like I don't have the time.
Not only that, I feel like you also gotta like it, right? When
that too.
When you wake up extra early or go out even later on, you kind of want to like it, right? For example, if I stop going to the gym, whether it be a class or a regular gym, right? Because I try to do both. I start getting like moody and stuff. Like I feel unaccomplished and stuff like that, because I really enjoy it. It's not about how you look or whatnot. It's mainly because I actually enjoy it, right? I feel like it's a stress reliever for me. Like I just go crazy.
I mean, scientifically it is, because you're releasing what I call the happy chemicals in your body to feel good. So
there you go.
It is. I can't say I feel any different. I just feel good that I feel proud that I'm active. Because even today he's like, oh, how many days you worked out this week? And I'm like, oh, I've been moving every day since Monday. So the past 4 days, either walking, jogging, or
nice,
or riding the bike. So I'm excited for that. And
still working on a diet, but yeah,
yeah,
eliminating McDonald's.
Yes, but
like Wendy's today.
Shut up, bro. But
No,
I've
I'm
been
just saying that because
I've
you
been
said in
bringing
Instagram today, "Oh, I'm trying to cook at home and stuff
No,
like
no, no. I
that."
didn't say cook. I
Uh,
said I've been bringing stuff home from home to my work to eat. I didn't
oh,
say I've been trying to cook more. I didn't say
oh,
that.
you didn't say
I'm
that. I read
mindful.
it wrong.
Nope. I am very wise and mindful of the things I write
Okay, so say it again.
because
What
it'll
did
come
you put?
back. I said something about bringing stuff from home. That doesn't mean I necessarily cook.
Also, since you were home, you didn't have to bring anything because you were already here. So that's why you didn't make anything to eat here. Okay, I get it. I get it. That makes sense. Go ahead. Go ahead.
He's trying to throw a jab because I didn't cook today.
Yeah. All I said was just take out the burgers and I'll take care of it in the grill, but it's all right.
No, no.
No, I was working in the backyard and I
Oh my!
said, listen,
And
I'll open the grill, take out the burgers, and I'll tell you when to flip it. I'll season them bien adobadito. And no, I don't want to do this
I
and
didn't
that.
want to because I only had like a 40-minute break
I know, and that
between my
only
next
takes 10 minutes to
session.
make.
I didn't want to take my only 40-minute break to
If you look at it this way, it took
partake
more
in
than 10
anything.
minutes to go to Wendy's,
No, it
wait
did
in the line,
not.
get the food, and come over here. But it's okay. That's a different topic for a different day.
Whatever. Point is,
That should be like the next podcast of journey of health and all that. But go ahead.
I'm not there yet, so I can't talk about
But we
something.
cooked a few times in the house too.
That's
Yeah.
that's where I
Or
was.
was it? Oh, I was the one
No, no,
cooking.
no. This, you see this?
No, no, no. I want to know how many times did I cook?
Last week you cooked twice,
And you?
once, and then the week before I cooked 2 times.
No, that week don't count.
No, the point is we're trying to make changes, and which is all tying into why we want to do it on a bi-weekly schedule to try to fit the things we want to add to the schedule we don't have,
Yeah.
basically. That's the gist of it, right? But kind of like what we spoke about in the last episode, all this requires commitment. It's work. It's wanting to do it, it's having interest to do it, and making an effort, right? So it's kind of like regardless of how I feel, it's like, oh, I gotta push myself
Mm-hmm.
to make that meal. Regardless of how I feel, I gotta push myself to do that workout, right? Like this morning I snoozed like 3 times. It's pushing through the snooze button to finally get up and still find a way to make it work where I
Mm-hmm.
can fit in, even if it's a small or short session, right? So it's commitment, right? We spoke about the book Marrying for Punks, and we spoke about in the last episode commitment, right? Marital CPR.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're gonna close out on the CPR conversation and talk about both passion and respect, right? So let's start first with passion, right? And passion is not only just sex, right? Because I think that's when we hear passion, that's really what you kind of
Some of us do. Some of us
go
don't.
to. Well, yeah, that was the funny part because when we were talking about it, I was like, "Oh yeah, it's not all about sex though," and he's like, "I didn't even think about that when you
Yeah.
were reading it." I went straight to that side of the.
I didn't think about that at all. Yeah. So, but yeah, go ahead.
Right. So passion is the second principle on it, and it's basically like it's a drive or an urge, right? It's kind of like an emotional fuel that motivates us to react, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether we react negatively or positively, right? It's just something that stirs in us, right? To do something.
Yes.
And I think that every marriage, every relationship needs that passion to give you that kind of drive to want to keep craving. I think it's a crave
Yeah.
that you need to have for your partner.
I agree. It's similar to what we were just discussing now of the gym, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, if I don't have it, I kind of feel incomplete, right? It's almost like I need to have it, and it's similar to a relationship where you want to have that passion for your partner. Where if you're lacking some type of passion or something is not done, meaning it could be a hug, a kiss, a sitting down in the dinner and just having a conversation, going out on a date, or just sitting down, right? I was in the backyard now and I was a babe, but I don't want to be alone in the back. Could you just sit down and talk to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
To see how was your day, and I want to talk to you, see how my day was. And I feel like when you have passion for somebody, um, they're the first person you kind of want to tell everything to, right? And when I talk to you, I'm like, babe, like, how was your day? What was good? What was bad? Talk to me. And I feel like if we don't have these dialogues, it's almost like something's wrong, right? That's how I feel. I'm like,
Yeah.
no. So like today, for example, you didn't want to tell me anything. I'm gonna say why, but you didn't really want to tell me much, and you were being petty. And you're like, "There's nothing wrong." I said, "There is something wrong because you're not having this normal conversation with me." And is
Ay.
not trying to even be
No,
funny. It's the truth.
me tiraste ahí, petty, ya me
No,
faltaste respeto.
no. I'm being honest with you, right? Or am I wrong? Correct me if I'm
I
wrong.
was not demonstrating the skills that we're talking about in the book. I wasn't. I was a little annoyed.
But that's not what I'm trying to
So I
say.
was quiet. Yeah, you're right.
So it's almost like I needed to have that conversation.
Mhm.
Whether what's going see that's a crazy part about it, right? When you have passion for not only this individual but for somebody that you love, and you have that chemistry where you have to have this conversation. If we don't have, and it's not even about a conversation, it's just having
Being
time
with
with
them,
this
yeah.
person, right? You want to have them around you. And I had a conversation with you yesterday,
About I was able to say that.
right? And I was like, listen, like I just want to be around you guys, right? I
Mhm.
feel like, I want my daughters, I want you, I want to be around you, right?
Yeah.
It's not like we haven't, um, but I want to make sure that I have this time with you
Yeah. It's
guys.
because it's a separate, distinct time,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not the day to day. It's not the busyness of
Mm-hmm.
life. Like having that passion is you're kind of intentional with the time you're spending.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like how we spoken before about quality time, right? It's because you genuinely crave being with that person,
Mm-hmm.
which might mean doing something that person likes
Mm-hmm.
because you want to be with that
Of
person and you
course.
want to
And it's
feed
probably not
that
something you
fuel.
like doing yourself, right? Perfect example, even passionate as a friend, right? For example, this past weekend, I had some of the guys come over just because I'm working on the backyard. I had huge rocks. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
300, 400 pound rocks. And, I had Sinon come over. I
So
had
they were that big, 300,
yeah,
400
there was
pounds.
some of them we couldn't even lift up at all. Like it was crazy. Senon, I had Joey. Who else was here?
Tackle,
And
Alvaro.
Taco, yeah, Alvaro, he's the MVP. And we were just like moving all these rocks. After that, we ate. Babe, you cooked amazing. Everybody enjoyed it. After that, we watched a fight, and I mean, it was hard. It was a tough day because it was
Yeah.
hours of really like hard labor. None of us do this as a profession,
Yeah.
and the
Clearly,
guys
because
were
they
like,
were
man,
using like rubber bands almost to move a rock.
yeah, it was hilarious. But after that, all the guys were
Hilarious.
like, this was fun, right?
Yeah.
They came over here, and I put them to do
I
slave
don't think
work.
Alvaro said it was fun. I'm pretty sure he didn't say that.
He this is what he told me. He said every time I go over here is always fun. Whether I'm helping you put lights, whether I'm helping you clean, because he's always
Aw,
doing something. He did
I
tell me
love
that.
him.
That's why I said he's the MVP because every time he comes, I tell him bring a
Dito.
second outfit. You're gonna need it because I'm gonna have something to do for you. And it's crazy because as much as I'm probably using them as slave because my father's always, oh, are you slaving them? My neighbor's telling me the same thing. I said, but they keep on coming back,
Yeah.
right? And it's almost like they're doing probably stuff that they wouldn't pick to do, but since there's a passion and a friendship, they would rather be here doing it with me, these different stuff that we're doing because they enjoy that time with
That
me, right?
company,
They
yeah.
see that happiness, we're able to laugh, we're able to just make the best out of something that is really just draining our battery 100%.
Yeah. And that's what passion is. It's kind of making the relationship fun and interesting,
Of
right?
course.
Doing something different that you realize when you look back like, oh, this was actually nice. Oh, it's nice to have this conversation or it's nice to do this, right?
And
Um
you're always gonna need that.
yeah.
Like the crazy part is, think about it. If you're in a relationship dating now, and let's just say a few years in, and you're losing passion, imagine after 15 years married, 13 years married, right? 30 years married, right? You always have to have some type of passion for your spouse, right? Your partner, because that's what keeps the spark. That's
Yeah.
what keeps your relationship moving.
Yeah. And you could reignite it, right?
Of course.
It's not that you're going to feel passion
Excited all the time and stuff.
24/7, but being aware and listening actively to your
Hmm.
partner to know like something's not up right or something's off. What can we do now to kind of bring that back? That spunk, right? What can we do to reset? And in the book, he talks about having kind of to push through the fears,
Hmm.
to initiate passion. Like basically, he's saying you can't wait until you feel the passion to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like because if we wait for the emotions sometimes the emotions or the feeling won't come, and then we don't do anything about cultivating passion in the relationship, right? So, it's needed because passion is what kind of it attracts your partner
Of
to you.
course.
It lures them. It makes them want to come back for more, right? And there's so many ways that you can initiate passion,
Hmm.
and it's not just about intimacy, right? Sometimes,
But that's also important as well, right?
yeah.
I didn't think about it in the very beginning, but you also want to be passionate physically, right? Where you
Mm-hmm.
show that passion, whether you figure out a way to make your partner happy, right? But also, does your partner know that you're passionate for them,
Yep.
right? Do they feel like, oh, I'm attractive to you, right? When you look at me, oh my God, like that's my partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the person I'm gonna spend my life with, right? Do you make your significant other feel special, right? Because if we don't do that, that's part of what we're supposed to. Both of us are supposed to
Yeah.
do that.
Does your
Uh,
partner know that you miss them, right? Like it's
yeah.
it's that text message like, "Oh, I've been thinking about you. Can't wait to see you later." Like those
Mm-hmm.
little things.
Yeah. Yeah. Or I had a crazy day, and I'm sorry I didn't speak to you, but I can't wait to actually
Yeah.
finally get to talk to you. But we have days that we don't really talk at all until then, and like, oh, it was a crazy day.
And it's different for everyone, right? Cuz for some people it might be like, "Oh, that's a little corny to say I miss you or I'm thinking about you." But those things go a long way, and you won't know the effect it has until you do it.
Of course.
Right? Until you shoot that text or send that message or do that gesture, you won't know if the person will really like it, right? For example, I used to say like I was never big on flowers or I never really cared for flowers
Mm-hmm.
until Elvis would sometimes bring it up, buy a flower or gift it to me. Then you're like, oh, actually, this is actually
That's
nice
good.
to get it
Yeah.
once in a while. But until you get those things or you don't experience it, you won't know whether or not you really like it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get so accustomed because that's all we have or we're used to that we think that we don't need it and realize that hey, this might be something I'm actually interested or do
I
like.
feel like we should have a mix of everything, right? And we should be intentional of the things we do to make sure that our partner feels special.
Hmm.
Perfect example. What was it yesterday? Before yesterday, I had your T-shirt with your name all over.
Yesterday,
It
yeah.
was yesterday,
He
right?
wears it all the time.
Yeah, because I mean, probably they give you a shirt and you probably never gonna wear it as much. But I'm like, man, like you bought it, and I should wear it that way. You could feel special. Like, oh, I'm rocking your shirt, babe.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't matter. Like it's the little things, right?
Hmm.
We're not supposed to make. Sometimes we think like, oh, we're supposed to make a crazy video, pictures. Everybody should know. But I feel like the little things are the ones that impact the most, and you're just gonna have memories about that all the time.
Yeah, and it's just small things and it's making the changes, right? It's both people in the relationship making changes that benefit the relationship
Mm-hmm.
in a whole. And one of the examples he talks about is like he goes out with his wife and he opens the door every time,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um and not because she needs him to, right? But now it's like now she waits at the
Of course.
door for him to open it, right? Because that's already become their thing, right? And it's the same thing with any relationship, whether it's hugging, holding hands, things that you feel like you don't often like to do. Like he says he's not crazy about public displays of affection. So the
Mhm.
hand holding took him some time. But then he's like, this is important because this creates connectiveness
Mhm.
to one another. And a friend of mine has sent a video and I showed Elvis this week. And that's kind of been the joke, I think, in the last week and a half.
Something like that, yeah.
Right. So it talks about the importance of hugging and kissing and holding hands. And it was saying that, you know, people who cuddle, right? That percentage that cuddles has reported to have a better sex life, right? Um, right. People who kiss, and if you kiss at least for 6 seconds, that husband is likely to live, I think 4 years longer
Woo.
than those who don't kiss every
You
day before
you're
leaving
gonna
to
get a lot of
work.
kisses, babe.
Before leaving to
I
work.
wanna
So
live long,
So
long,
this
long.
whole past week and a half, he'll be like, "Oh, 6 second kids,"
And we're
joking,
like,
but
and our oldest like, oh. Yeah,
you
it's
know,
hilarious.
or at least 20 seconds hugging, right? Also has benefits and increases in your health. So we were joking about that because it was in a German study, but hugging stimulates the release of oxytocin, right? So the love hormone, right? It fosters feelings of bonding, trust, and connection. So hugging is important
Mhm.
because it helps in feeling you're literally connected to your partner, but then at the same time the hormones that are releasing also help reduce all the other
Mm-hmm.
stressors that are activated, right? It reduces stress because it releases cortisol, right? So the stress hormone of cortisol takes kind of a back seat when you're hugging and being
So we're gonna hug
affectionate.
right after this, babe.
It it elevates your mood, right? So it increases happiness and it makes you feel wanted,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's similar to kind of holding hands with it's just a symbol of togetherness. Is you're psychologically reducing stress, right? Um and it's important to do these things for passion, right? Because you want to feel connected to your partner. You want to feel together.
You also
And
want to feel wanted. That was my
yes.
whole point earlier. Where does your partner really know that they are wanted? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
want you, babe, right? And do you really show that, right? Do you even have a conversation about that? Like, do you feel like a lot of times I tell you, do you know that I love you? Like, I really, really love you. Like this, I want to be with you forever. And a lot of times we don't even have that conversation with our partners, and
Yeah.
it's a necessary conversation.
We wait until an argument where then your partner has to tell you, "Oh, I don't even feel like you love me," or "I don't feel this and that," or "You're not doing
It shouldn't
this."
get to
You
that
know,
at
but
all.
it often happens that
Hmm.
that's when you start having conversations, or that's when you, um, all of a sudden want to make changes. Like you should kind of do check-ins with your relationship.
Yeah, we got to create that habit where we create where like, okay, let's go back and let's see what we
Mm-hmm.
could do better, right? Because if we don't do that, I mean that's why I think we actually know those cues because we're always going back and forth. Hey, listen, what's going on? Let's touch bases and stuff like that. And sometimes one of us talks, sometimes we don't even want to talk,
Yeah.
and the other partner has to push to be able to take out those words.
Yeah. A big part of passion too that he said was creating habits of kindness. Is doing things for your partner,
Mm-hmm.
understanding that we both have different needs. And in other episodes before, we have spoken about like the five love languages, knowing what your partner's love language is,
Yeah,
knowing what are his
that's
needs,
key.
right? I might need affection, I might need um, commitment, I might need conversation, and you might need physical touch. You might need recreational companionship, meaning that you want me to spend time with you. You
Yeah.
want me to go outside while you're cleaning the car or working in the backyard to keep you company, to be around, to be present, right? So it's having passion means being willing to do those things because you love the person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that he said was, you know, passion and communication are kind of linked together. So when that passion dies, sometimes that communication also that fizzles out. Like you don't even like, oh, I don't
Yeah.
care to talk to you anymore, and we have to be mindful of those passion killers, right? Like he says, the silent treatment, the nagging, right? Those
Mm-hmm.
things kind of turn you off,
Yeah.
right? And the more passion you have for someone, the more it's easier to also initiate sexual
Of
intimacy,
course.
right? Because if we're not connecting throughout the day, if we're arguing all day and I'm nagging you or you're giving me the silent treatment for whatever reason, once we go to bed, I'm not going to want you to touch me,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's not going to lead to anything more intimate because the passion is not there.
Yeah, I've been having sex. I mean, are you being passionate having sex as well?
También.
Where it's not about okay, I want to just finish and that's it. No, are you making your partner actually enjoy what you guys are doing as well? Are you making them feel wanted? Right?
Mhm.
Did they feel special, or you just trying to cover a need and that's it? Like let's finish up and that's it. No, like I want to have passion with you. Like I want you. Are you showing that to your partner? Right? Like if it was the first day you guys started dating and whatnot.
Yep. And passion could be created or destroyed in a marriage. It's
Mm.
up to you to cultivate and nurture that passion. And I think this will be the last point for the passion one. I like the example he gave about him being a huge football fan
Mm-hmm.
and watching football regularly, but that his wife knows if he if she needs something for her or the family, that he would turn off the TV to respond and be there for the family, which is why she often doesn't even bother him when the game comes on because she knows if I
Yeah.
really need him or need something, he's going to show up. And I think that's the key of passion, where nothing else should consume you
Mm-hmm.
and your time and your attention more than your partner, right? Meaning obviously we have to work. Obviously we have to have our hobbies,
Of
right?
course.
Doesn't mean that you're not going to be your own individual person. But aside from the day-to-day responsibilities,
Mm-hmm.
nothing else should be more important. Not your phone, perhaps not other family members, friends. Other things shouldn't be more important. Your partner should know that you value them and that if you're needed or they need you, that you're going to show up and be there for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, most of the day, I would say most of us are working 8-hour shifts. If we're sleeping 8 hours, right, we only got a few more hours in the daytime. You got to use them wisely, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where we all have things we like doing and want to do, but how could I incorporate what you're doing and at the same time show my passion to my partner?
Yeah. And then, like with passion, there's also that respect, right? So that's the third
Mm-hmm.
little ladder to the CPR in a marriage. And I think it's kind of self-explanatory,
Yeah,
right?
respect is respect.
You
So
know,
you
it's
respect. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
no, right? One thing about respect though is that we have to be mindful in this when it comes to respect that we might come from different backgrounds
Mm-hmm.
and upbringings that showed respect in a different way,
Absolutely. Yes.
right? Um, Especially when if you haven't come from a home that maybe has both mom and father, right?
Yes.
You didn't grow up seeing that example of, oh, this is what a respect and a healthy marriage looks like. So that off the back, that's one disadvantage because now we're figuring it out
Yeah.
on our own what that's gonna look like for us and how we define that, right?
Or you probably had both of them, and the father was unfaithful, or the mother was
Or an
unfaithful,
abuser
or
and
abuser. So you're watching all of this, and you're like, "Wait, this is what I learned as a child, and how could I implement what I learned in my marriage?" And it's almost like, okay, you're starting wrong.
mm-hmm.
So it's hard. I mean, I'm not trying to put excuses, but
Yeah.
it is harder because you got to figure it out, right? And where do we kind of draw the line of respect? Or where do we even start in the line of respect, right? What is breaking the rules towards you or you towards me, right?
And I think that's the first step, communicating as to what do you find disrespectful,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because for some it could be raising your tone
Mm-hmm.
could be disrespectful. That could be
Mm-hmm.
automatically, right? Um, for me it's more of like, don't call me out of my name,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's something that I'm like that with Ellie, right? Like, don't call me vulgar names,
Mm-hmm.
right? Don't. And sometimes se me zafa, like don't call me, stupid, idiot, like demeaning words. Um, you're laughing because I be saying tupida, tupido all the time. I know. Why are you laughing?
I don't like when they get physical.
Obviously.
I don't like when they get physical. Yeah,
Obviously.
sometimes they can get physical.
No, 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 no. Sometimes we play with the
I didn't
hand.
mention no names.
No, because you're bringing it up. You got to clarify because then people are going to think you're in a whole abusive relationship. And we don't need them thinking that. He's not. Point is que a veces we play them. You shouldn't play with hands. You shouldn't. You really shouldn't.
I agree.
Because a veces uno se zafa and then one person gets more upset than the other.
Yeah, of
Okay.
course. You know what it is? I like bothering her. I like bothering.
He does. And then he'll like pinch me and stuff and those things hurt.
Yeah,
So I get upset.
I like bothering her.
But anyways, no juegue de mano. That's the rule, right? So you can't just say you respect to somebody. It has to be visible. And that's what he's basically saying in the book. Similar to the passion.
I respect you, but I start slapping you. I respect you, but I'll call you all type of names. Like your actions also
so
have to.
dramatic.
No, I'm putting extreme,
No,
but
I
it's
know.
almost like your actions should speak to what you're actually saying as well, right? If you're saying you respect a person, you're obviously gonna treat them with respect, and you're gonna treat them as you want them to treat you. I think that would be the key more than anything else, right? Would you want this person to treat me that way? And if you're not projecting that, then you got to work on yourself.
Yeah, and I like how he says that respect cannot be hidden, even if it's not expressed. So you don't have to say, "Oh yeah, I respect." People will know,
of course,
that you respect your marriage, your partner, by your actions and the things you do for them and the things you do when they're not around, right?
And the crazy part is, it don't look cute when you're outside. We seen
Yeah.
couples and you're like, oh man, these people have problems, right?
I
Have you
mean,
ever
we've
been
been
in?
there too,
I
because
know,
we
but what
were
I'm saying is
toxic.
we're far away from that right now,
Thank God.
thankfully. But we seen couples like, man, what's going on here, right? You see him trying to be the macho man in the
Mhm.
house, and you do what I want, or vice versa, or you
Mhm.
see this, man, it don't look good, right?
Yeah.
It's not a good look. So it's like you have to work on your relationship where you guys equally respect each other, right? And that has to come both ways. Where I value your time or I value you, and you should do the same thing as well, because your partner's not gonna want to respect you if you're not respecting them either.
Yeah. You're taking care of respect means you take care of your partner and you protect them, right?
100.
And he was saying that some of the questions he asks couples regarding showing respect to one another is, do you speak positively about each other in public?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's important, right?
Yes.
It's different. Like, I have my best friend, so I'm like, oh, Elvis pissed me off today, right? That's one thing, right? Versus, oh, he's such an idiot. I don't even know I'm married to him.
Mm-hmm.
Or, he's so childlike. Like, saying though, that's not showing respect for your
Of course
partner.
not.
Right? Or if someone is speaking bad about your partner, allowing them to talk about your partner in a negative way,
Yeah,
regardless
I
of
don't
who they
like that.
are.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Regardless of who they are, right? It's putting a pump of a
A
brake to that.
pump? No, stop.
Pump to the brake. A brake to the pump.
No, you figure that out later. I'm 100% with you. There should be a respect among yourselves, but also other people should have respect as well. And I feel like what you said there, I mean, I'm an advocate for that 100%, whether it be family
Mm-hmm.
talking, about you, whether it be friends talking about you. I'm going to defend my spouse.
Yeah,
It
but
doesn't matter.
you as the partner set the
Of
precedent,
course.
because no one, if someone's comfortable around you to talk about someone, it's because you've allowed them
Of
to.
course.
So if you want to bring back the respect, it doesn't matter if you've let it before. It's time to be like, oh no, like, we're
That's
not
it.
going to do that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to entertain that.
Yeah.
Right. And you should be speaking between you and your partner what's going on.
Of course.
Right. If something's bothering you about your partner shouldn't find out through somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
They should know
That's
because,
worse.
yeah, they should know because you've told me. Like, this is a conversation we had. No one else has to know necessarily, right?
So how do we get to that point, right? Because we sound like, oh my God, it's perfect book and whatnot. But how do we get to a point where we could have a conversation, right? Because think about it, when you're upset, you don't want to talk with each other, right? You disrespect me and I gotta respect you, but I'm upset. I don't want to talk to you right now,
Yeah.
right? I'm probably discouraged. We argued and whatnot. So number one, what would be a good time to talk, and how do we get to a place where we could sit down and have a conversation
Yeah.
realistically, right? Because how do we get there?
Well, you can't obviously do that when you're upset.
Okay.
Definitely when you're not upset. Learning how to say, putting a pause on a conversation, because I don't think you have to address the issue. You have to
Hmm.
address and converse about what's going on, but learning to say, like, not right this second, right?
Hmm.
Because if you're too heated,
Hmm.
if I'm angry and over the top upset, I'm not hearing what you're telling me. I could see your lips moving, but I'm blanked,
Hmm.
right? You lost me because I'm upset.
Of course.
So it's being able to say, like, time out. Let's put a pin on this. Like, let's talk about this another time, right? Until you're able to kind of, stop,
How
breathe a
about the
little
other
bit.
partner's like, no, but let's talk right now. But I want to talk right now. But I want to talk. That happens.
I know that, but I mean, at that point, it's kind of like, what do you do? I would, I would walk away.
You
I would
say it,
walk
yeah.
away.
Walk away,
I would
right?
walk away.
Yeah, me too.
If I'm trying to keep it calm, if I'm trying to be civil and I'm trying to be respectful and you're not hearing me out, that's the same way, like, if I'm on the phone with a client and the clients are yelling at me and I'm like, listen, so and so, like, I can't continue this conversation if you're gonna be yelling at me. I said I'm gonna have to hang up. Like, I've done it where I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna hang up in 3 seconds if you
Yeah.
keep screaming
Yeah,
at
because
me.
we're not going to
And
get anywhere.
I've counted down and hung up because we're not getting anywhere. The
And
conversation is not conducive.
it's not healthy. It's
Mm-hmm.
not healthy. So there has to be a pause where it's like, let's wait until everything cools down. Then we could have a conversation
Yeah.
to see how could we move forward. What was the mistake? How we don't go to this line again, right?
Yeah. I think also time and maturity, right? So
Hmm.
after some time and maturity. Like, you need to have some accountability to be able to create some changes in your life. I think
And you start learning how to read somebody.
Yeah.
If you're with somebody for 10 years, you know how to read their face. Uh-oh. Algo dije. Metí la pata. She looking at me with the shaky eye and stuff like that. Like, you have to know how to have a conversation without having a conversation with your partner. Because ultimately, you have to eventually stop if you get to this situation, because you want to respect them, right? You probably hurting their feelings, making them feel bad, putting them in a place publicly where they don't want to be. So put yourself in their shoes for a second, right?
Yeah. And other questions that he asked was, and we don't have to go through them in detail, but he says, do you refer to the other in public or private as raising another child? Right? I think that's big. Like, I think I've shared even posts where it's like, we especially women, we kind of refer to having a fourth child, a third child in the home. And, it's funny, right, in a joking way, but sometimes it gets to the point where it's almost like you're demeaning that person, belittling that person. Like, oh, like you're basically, when you refer to them as a child, you're basically saying like, oh, they don't know how to do anything. I have to take care of them. I have to do everything for them. So it kind of places them,
I would say
in a
99%
lower
of the
level
time,
of respect.
women are the one that say that. I don't think guys actually say that.
Elvis and his statistics.
No. It's funny because I had actually somebody just say that. And she was like, yeah, I got to watch my two kids, my 2-year-old and my 35-year-old kid. I'm like, what? 35-year-old kid? Yeah, my husband. I'm like, what? Oh, my God. So, this literally just happened a few weeks ago.
Is there mutual admiration of each other's intelligence, right? Like, do you respect your partner's thought process? Like, oh, my partner's smart. My partner, knows what he's saying or knows what they're doing. Are you protective when someone else offends or threatens
Which
the
we
other?
spoke about,
So it's like these things, like asking yourself, being honest with yourself, like, is these things that we're really
I
doing?
get upset if she don't defend me. Like, if she told me, oh, somebody said this about you. I'm like, well, you said back. Right? I'm always about that. Like, did you defend me? Did you stop it? Right?
Yeah.
Because that also makes me feel good. Like, I'm like, wow, I proved to you who I am, so I know I can count with you having my back.
Yeah.
So that your partner feels special when that happens.
Yep. And when a person feels valued and respected, it helps build their esteem, right? So it increases,
Of course,
room to grow in love with that person, right? It makes them feel worthy of love and motivated to be in that relationship and in that partnership, right? And then there's one thing that he did say that I liked, that it was basically like respect can exist on its own without love. So you can respect anyone, right? You can learn to give respect to people, a public figure, educator, and whatever, but not the other way around. So meaning that as much as you esteem somebody, that admiration can fall ways short of being in love with them, right? So you may respect someone you don't love, but it's almost impossible to love someone that you don't respect, right? So having respect for someone can help that love grow for that person, but not having respect can reduce the chance of you growing that love, right? So it's almost impossible to love someone you don't respect. And that happens in relationships where you feel like, oh, the love is dying. Are you giving that person the respect? Are you giving them that value, right? Because it's not only for you to get connected to them, but it helps in building that partner to grow and connect with you as well. And all these things are fixable. That's what he says in the book too, right? The more you allow love to grow and communicate your needs and wants, the more you learn how to respect each other and be with one another. So ultimately, CPR, commitment, passion, and respect help reboot and reset your marriage, and all require your active involvement, right? It can't just be one partner doing it. Both have to do it so it can be effective and show fruits.
Good talk, babe.
It had to be said.
And it was said. Take care, guys.